All right, team, we're getting a little bit further into this now, part 3. We're going to start getting a bit more active and sort of a bit more of a training adaptation we're going for. Our first one today is about one thing called force acceptance and another one which is just balance, which probably makes a lot more sense to you. Force acceptance is our ability to stop. Really important, you know, if you're going for a drop shot or something at the net and you get there, have you ever kept running afterwards because you've got so much momentum? That's a real key part where we can have injuries occur. So the better we can absorb all our force, the better we can stop, and the better we can stop, the better we can change direction the other way. Too many people think about going back the other way first when they haven't first developed that stopping ability. That's our key. So our first part of our force acceptance, we're going to do just a drop from a box. You can easily do that from a step or something lower as you need to. We'll go through a couple of regressions for that as well. And just the same, some acceptance with our upper body in a press up position. So while we think about press ups being really good for our chest, that squeeze and catching yourself is going to really activate through our back, right? So the first thing is our drop. Dropping off is pretty self-explanatory. It's the way that we land which is really important. So just as a demo, I'm going to drop off and I'm going to make sure I'm sitting down, my knees and my hips, and I'm keeping my chest up, maintaining that shape through my upper body. Lots of advances to you available in this one. You can make your box higher or shorter as you need, or if you're a little bit more advanced and you're in a gym, you can pick up some weights as well. So it's the same thing again really, we're just having to accept more force because we're increasing our own load. Cool? Our second one of these we're going to do just from a press up position. So here's our base one, it's going to be just on our knees. Hands out in front like we're going to do a press up, but we're going to land. Stop with our chest just off the ground. Trying to absorb that force with our arms through our back, not boom, bang into the ground and stop that way. Again. So if you need to regress that a little bit, that's fine. You can go and grab a table, whatever ledge you have handy. I'll use this box again and we'll do the same thing. So here, right, so we're just bringing our height up so we're not falling so far. If you're a pro, you might want to do it from your feet, hands out. Make sure you protect the money maker. We'll see if I can do one. If not, we might have a bit of a giggle. Not too bad, I think. So for those again, quite low because we're absorbing a lot of force. We'll do about 6 of each. We're going to do that about 4 to 5 rounds. Okay, so our second lot of exercises for this one here is going to be firstly a double jump and then a little bit of balance with a single leg deadlift or reach, and then just a little bit more for our back as well, okay? Starting with our double jump. Now remember, this is about force acceptance, so the height that you jump isn't necessarily as important as the impact through the ground between your first and second jumps. So it might look something like this. Kind of come down. Remember, when we jump, our hands come back, we get momentum up, so come down. I'm sure I can do that one a bit faster. Okay, so it's the generating the force when we have the impact in the ground. That's an integral part in this, okay? And we're going to do about 6 of them again. These things that have quite a lot of force, we don't want to be going for 20 reps because then we just start making all sorts of weird shapes, and that's not going to be beneficial in the long term. Next one we're going to do is our single leg deadlift. A couple of different ways to do this. First, you're going to pick a foot, and we're going to reach down to that while we kick our other leg out the back. Try and think about making a T with your body on this one. So here, kicking this leg nice and back, put that heel to the sky and the sole of that foot to that back wall. Touch your toe and then swing that hip back again. It's all driving through our hip. Hip back, hip forward. And that helps keeps us back in a nice space as well.
And so I'm not doing these perfectly. As you can see, there's a few bobbles over there, and that's part of the game, right? You're getting your ankle firing up so you can maintain that stability, and you're really focusing on getting your glute firing as well, so you can keep that heel to the back. If that's a little bit too difficult for you, our other one we can do is just to reach to something. So it's the same thing, but we're going out in front. It's a little bit easier to maintain balance. So hip, leg out the back, reach forward, touch your box, or whatever it may be for you. I need to go a little bit closer on that one. Okay, not as much force on these, and we will get a bit more fatigue with our balance, so we're going to do a few more reps, about 10 of those. Our third one in this set is our pull aparts. Now we did this with our warm up as well, so you'll know this move already. Remember, start up nice and high, bring it down to our sternum. Now for these though, we're going to do holds for them. We're just going to do 5 reps, but we're going to hold it for 10 seconds. Idea here is you've got no choice but to light up your back, get those muscles firing. Here, I'm going to squeeze out. 4, 5, all the way for 10 seconds here, right? You'll normally start to get to about 7 or 8 seconds. And then, oh yeah, I can feel that start to tingle now, right? It's all about getting that activation through that mid back. It's a massive part of weakness for 9/10 of the population. So similarly here, we're just going to do 4 rounds of this though, right? So 6 reps of our double jumps, 10 on each side of our single leg deadlift or single leg reach. Then we're going to do 5 10-second isometrics for our band, and then we're going to get back to the start again. So our third lot of exercises here, just some smaller movements and a little bit of balance in there as well. The first one we're going to do is just a single leg, what I like to call a clock. We're going to pick a leg again, the same as we did with our single leg deadlift, and we're going to touch out in front of us. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Okay, you can make this harder and easier by how far you go. So if your balance is really poor, if you're really working on your balance, you're going to take a small step. Okay, if you're a pro, we're going to go much further. So you're going to hit 3 points of those clock, and you're going to do it 4 times through on each leg. Okay, switch over, same thing on your other side. We're going to go touch, 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 touch. Okay, and once you've done that, we're going to head down onto the ground. First one is going to be on your stomach, and we're going to do just the bottom part of a press up. We're going to hold our chest just off the ground, similar position we were aiming to finish in earlier. If you do this on your knees or your feet, it's absolutely fine either way. Again, if you need to, you can regress it to a box too. All we're going to do is come down, bottom position of our press up. We're going to hold here for 10 seconds. Remember, our breathing is important, and as we're getting through this, we're going to start again feeling our back starting to squeeze. We should be getting those shoulder blades squeezing together, and you get some really good activation up there. You can come and push up to take your break, or if it's really hard, you're down. Take a breather and back up. Okay, so we're going to put about a 5-second break in between there, just as a mini recovery, and you're going to do this 5 times. Our last one is going to be just a little bit for our abs, our transverse abdominis. We're going to hop on our back and bring our legs up so we're in a 90 degree on our hip and on our knee. Now there's a lot of different progressions and regressions for this. This is going to be our target to get to. Legs out nice and straight. All the way down. Now, I can go like this pretty easily, but my back's rising up here. We want to keep our back nice and flat the whole way through. So if you can't get down here, there's lots of different ways you can go about it. First one, we'll keep our knees bent and we'll bring our heels to the ground. okay? So all we're doing is shortening the lever, and by shortening the lever with the same amount of weight there, being my legs, I make that a little bit easier. Our next alternative is we'll just go one leg at a time. Then you can put them together as well. So you can go one leg but straight. So it's about finding the one that's best for you. We're trying to get some good activation through our abs. We're not trying to find the one that makes us die the most, okay? Going to get pretty high reps on these though. We're going to go for 20. So make sure you've got one that you've got great control over. So there's your little routine that you can put together to start generating some of that force acceptance and increase some of your stability there as well. Our fourth one is going to be about producing force, and that's the final part of our series. So come along next time, we'll have a look, see how you can get a bit more go in you.